Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow reptiles, to Face Palm Sunday, and today's video response deals with Anita Sarkeesian, who, if you didn't already know, is a huge liar and a fraud here on the interwebs, YouTube, Twitter, so on and so forth. A woman who purposely tries to misrepresent and twist everything that, even if it's a good thing, she somehow twists it into a bad thing. And today, we're going to be covering some critique, some harsh criticism of the game Dying Light that she had with this game. She just couldn't believe that this game was so terrible, and the things that it condones and supports, and the elements that this game has. And for those of you who don't know already, I have played Dying Light. I've played it all the way through. I've done the campaign. I've done a shit ton of side quests. I've extensively played through this game all the way through. That being said, unlike Anita Sarkeesian, it's very clear that she has not. So one of the first things that she says in her tweet is, quote, "Dying Light has a damsel in distress storyline. Dear game developers, it's 2015. Aren't you embarrassed by this yet?" So I'm assuming you don't know what this is, but the damsel in distress storyline is where a man saves a woman. For example, Mario saving Princess Peach, that would be the damsel in distress, well, the man has to save the woman. Ironically enough, this is not the case in the game at all. In fact, within the first 5 minutes of the game starting, you are saved by the main female character, who later dies at the end of the game.
I told you that wasn't a normal drop shoot.
Break his legs, then take him to rides.
Back up! All of you!
Stop! Loud noises draw them. Fall back! Fall back!
Tower, this is Jade. Get sick bay ready. Got a guy with a bad head wound and a bite on one arm.
Oh shit, Amir's hurt?
No, Amir is gone. But I'm bringing in someone who might still survive.
One of us?
We'll see.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Within the first 5 minutes of gameplay, this is the cutscene of the game that plays out. You get stranded, and then Jade, the female, and her friend come and rescue you and help you and save you. And later throughout the campaign, throughout the missions that you do, you're constantly referred to as, you owe Jade help. You need to help her because she saved your life and one of her men died for saving you. So rather than having Jade just be a side character and get killed off like that guy did, she's the one who saves you ultimately. Which I think, in my opinion, is awesome. She saved you, and she's a badass character throughout the entire rest of the game. Even until her death, she's a badass character who takes out a lot of people. But of course, if you know anything about Anita Sarkeesian, that's not good enough, because then she says this. When female characters appear capable before being damseled, it does not make any better. It makes it worse. It's literally disempowering. The villain's dialogue in Dying Light about damseling Jade, quote, "The last time we met, you took something of mine. now I took something of yours. So now is where I'm going to display some context to what exactly she's referring to. Now he says this quote simply because earlier in the game, you chop off his hand.
Pathetic. All right. Kill him.
Then, of course, throughout the campaign, halfway through the end, Jade goes off by herself once she finds out that her brother had died, and she wants to go after this guy and go help people by herself without any influence of your character that you're playing. When she does that, she happens to get captured by the main villain. Yes, technically speaking, she got damseled or she got captured. Which in all honesty, I don't really care if she got captured or not. That's not the point. The point is this next tweet that you say. That dying light quote is damning because regardless of her strengths, she is still reduced to an object in a competition between men. Let's go back to the second tweet. The villain's dialogue in Dying Light about damseling Jade, quote, the last time we met, you took something of mine, now I take something of yours. That Dying Light quote is damning because regardless of her strength, she is still reduced to an object in a competition between men. Now my entire response revolves around this final tweet where she says she is reduced to an object in competition between men. That this character, Jade, is reduced to a sexual object of competition between men. This is not true, and this is one of the biggest lies that I have seen you perpetuate in a lot of your content regarding these types of stories. Now, not all stories have this in video games, but in this particular story, the main character that you're playing as, you start to care for Jade. This is what is called the relationship dynamic. The main villain says, you took something of mine, you chopped off his hand, now I'm going to take something of yours.
We meet again. The last time we met, you took something of mine. Now, I took something of yours.
I don't negotiate with assholes, Rise. I get out of here with Jade, or I take your other hand, too.
When he says that, he's not meaning an actual sexualized, objectified woman. He's meaning that obviously Jade is important to the main character, and because she is important, he is going to take her away. This is no different than in a real-life situation. For example, I'm with my girlfriend gets in a car accident by a drunk driver. That drunk driver kills my girlfriend. My girlfriend dies, and I say, that drunk driver took my girlfriend from me. Does that mean that I'm stooping and reducing my girlfriend to an object because I said that that guy took her from me? No, not at all. I care for my girlfriend, so naturally, when I say that she was being taken from me, that it's out of care for that individual that I love and care for. And it absolutely blows my mind that Anita Sarkeesian can't see this, that the character cares for this woman. The villain sees that, so therefore he takes her and says, now I'm going to take something of yours. And somehow, Anita Sarkeesian interprets this as being reduced to an object of competition between men, which goes to show how ridiculous this woman really is when she tries to twist something that's so blatantly obvious in real life, with the exception of a zombie apocalypse, of course, of having someone kidnap or harm or take something that you care for deeply. In matter of fact, I know for a fact that if I was taken from my girlfriend, she would feel like something was taken from her. Does that now mean that I'm reduced to an object of competition between women? No, not at all. And that's just, it amazes me that someone like Anita Sarkeesian, it doesn't amaze me with her, but it just shocks me that a lot of her rabid fans don't see through this. This is the basic 101 of a relationship dynamic between someone who loves and cares for somebody else. Now, how the game ends is that you're already bitten, you're going to put the antizin in this woman, you're going to save Jade's life, but rather than saving her, she puts it into you for whatever reason because she thinks that you can take down this evil guy and save the world. I actually wish this game had given me a choice of whether to give her the medicine rather than become a linear game where it automatically happens and I can't change anything. I like games with choices. Even still, he was going to give his life for this woman so she could survive. The story writers wrote it in such a way into where she gives him the cure instead. But ultimately, my response to Anita Sarkeesian boils down to this. There is no reducing a woman to an object in this game. It doesn't exist. Yeah, does she get captured? Yes. Do you go to save her because you love and care for her? Yes. Not only that, the main character you're playing feels as if he owes her something simply because she saved him in the first 5 minutes of the game. If someone saves your life, I would feel indebted to saving them if they got captured or hurt. And then, of course, this game also makes me ask the question, what about all the other stories where you're doing things for women to help them? There are numerous side quests in this game where you can help a small little girl and you go out and do things for her and you help do side quests for that female character. Does that mean that that little girl or a woman in the game asking for your help to do a quest is somehow making her powerless because she can't do it herself? That by someone a simple female asking for help, that means that she's depending upon somebody else? No, of course not. What type of game is good enough for you? You pick things out of this game which actually don't exist because no woman in Dying Light is reduced to an object of competition between men. Perhaps one day you should actually play the games that you attempt to criticize. My name is Daniel Solzbach, also known as Mr. Repzion. Thank you for watching this video. Happy Facepalm Sunday. Peace the Rep out.